Hello students, we are back again with our same chapter, Human Capital Formation in India. In part 1 we have already studied about some basic topics like human capital, human resource, human capital formation, what are the main sources which are required to form human capital from human resource. So those sources we have done, that is they are generally the health expenditure on education, migration, on the job training programs, as well as your basic things which are needed to develop from human resource to human capital. Now, how can you connect human capital with human capital development? This is another point which we need to understand, because human capital only does not makes you to come under the category of human capital development, because human capital is formed by converting human resource into human capital with the help of good education or high level of education. High level of education including health issues, along with health issues we have another term that is called as on the job training, then migration, and as well as information. So all these five major important things that makes one person to convert to get formed into human capital won't only make it to develop. Human capital development means it is including all your surroundings into it. When one individual will develop, or he or she will get educated, he will make or she will make the whole society to develop according to his approach, his better approach, his positive approach, and automatically the whole society will develop, the country will develop, and so that is why it is called as human capital development. Only studying and keeping your education, your health, and your information to yourself does not makes you a human develop. When you will use it or further transfer or transmit it from one person to the society or to many number of people in around you, then only it will make the development to come into existence. Because human development occurs when more and more individuals in the society are educated, healthy, and skill oriented. When one person gets educated, he makes others also to get educated. Like you are already knowing that when the females of family are educated, they make the whole family to get educated. So this is what we know from our social issues, because we know that we live in a conservative type of country, orthodoxy, and so many other issues are there. But it is said that one educated female in the family makes the whole family to get educated. Similarly, when human capital development is taken up, that means one should develop others also when he himself is developing or converting himself from human resource to human capital. So this is how you can make differentiate between a human capital and human capital development. Now coming to the next, it is role of human capital formation or human capital formation and economic growth. So when there is emotional and material environment growth uh, has been brought up by human capital, then it contributes to the formation, human capital formation, as well as economic growth of the nation. How you will say this? Because your attitude, your aspirations, your material environment change according to the best which you find with the help of your education, health, and other things, skill, and information and knowledge. You develop your surroundings, and you put up your emotions also, and your materialistic things which are available in your surroundings. You change them as per the best of their performances. So this is how you can take that human capital formation contributes to the process of growth and development of any nation. Now, other points that contribute to the development of a nation or growth of any economy, that innovative skills. When one gets educated, one becomes good health, and one is having all the informations which are needed to develop the society, to develop the nation, then they try to innovate new things. When they try to innovate new things, that means they are innovating their skills. And when their skills get innovated, and they start thinking in a different manner, they try to develop every part or in their surroundings, in their society, as well as in their country. So it is going to give something new, something good, and something better for the future generations. So automatically innovative skills gives you a better approach. Now another point that we need to discuss here is higher productivity of physical capital. Higher productivity of physical capital, how does it contributes to the development of any economy, or contributes to human capital? This is one of the very important things. Like these days we are using our mobile phones is a physical capital, and we are using these mobile phones for our online classes. We are using it for videos, ppts and presentations, because you should not be in loss when we are going through this lockdown period. So this is how we are making higher productivity of our physical capital available with us. So this is how it is supporting us, only because of your knowledge, your awareness, your technical skills, you are able to reach the platform which we which is making you to upgrade yourself with respect to time. So this is how higher productivity can be generated with the help of physical capital by using yourself in human capital formation. Now higher rate of participation and equality, this is another thing. Participation and equality means gender equality. When it comes to gender equality, it comes to the difference between the rich and the poor, then again equality comes into existence. Higher rate of participation means poor, or those who are lagging behind, or those females. When you talk about inequality, then females are there, they are reluctant to participate in any of the activities which are related to development, or for growth, or coming up in limelight. So they also get motivated with the help of education, good information, migration, and skill. So when they get opportunities, they get a platform, they can develop themselves into a better human being, and equality can be generated in the society. Country will look around everyone, whether it is male or female, rich or poor, in one through one way, or one setup. So there will be no discrimination, everyone will develop, and when everyone will develop, their country will also develop in the same manner. And a contribution of each and every category of people is automatically going to contribute to the development of the nation as a whole. So this is how you can say that productive capacity, by enhancing productive capacities of the labor force, human capital formation produces greater employment, as well as rate of participation increases, because when they are skilled, they participate with more enthusiasm and more motivation. Higher the rate of participation, greater will be the production and economic and social equality in the society. Automatically when they will participate more, they will earn better earnings, and when they will earn better earnings, they will try to improve their standards of living, and automatically it is going to contribute to the per capita income of the nation. So all these points contribute to remove the rift between the rich and the poor, the existing social differences of discrimination for male and females, and thus justice, social justice with growth is called as development. This is how we are here with these 3-4 points. Now, human role of human capital formation. What is the role played by human capital formation for any of the countries? So, whatever we have studied till now, it is all going to give a positive approach. It creates a positive environment in the society, in the country, in the minds of the people, and automatically, when the things will be positive, everything will become positive, creative, innovative, as well as in a growing manner. And when you will be good by your health, your life expectancy will automatically increase, your lifespan will be more, and when you lead a healthy life, automatically you will get better future for yourself, for your country, for your people. This is how the human capital formation plays its vital role in the development of any country. Now, next topic that we need to discuss, as we are talking about India as a country, its human capital, how what are the major things that play its role to develop from human resource into human capital. But when we are talking about India, that means we are not developing as per the expectations from the format. So, what are the reasons? Reasons are rising population. Our country's population is increasing at a very rapid rate. So, it cannot be controlled, because every time when your population is increasing, the purpose of investment in education and health does not fulfills the demand of ever rising population. It does not have a proper figure at the time of implementation of any scheme or policy, because every now and then the figures are changing. So it makes it difficult for the government and other things to come up with proper results when it comes to human capital in India. Then another issue is high level of poverty, because the population is increasing every time. So it is leading the poor people to remain in a poor state, because they are not able to fulfill their basic necessities even. So we are still in a condition of poverty. We cannot afford quality education and health facilities. So whatever government policies are taking up into action, they are not up to the mark, or they are insufficient to fulfill the needs of ever growing population, and so it leads to high level of poverty in the country. Now another issue is brain drain. Brain drain is a migration of highly skilled workforce to other countries for better jobs. So when brain drain will keep on going in our country, who is going to put up things forward or for the betterment of the country? It makes us to think about, means we are born in a country, we are studying from our childhood till our highest level of education, whether it is technical knowledge or it is professional degrees or qualification or trainings or whatever. But when it comes to deliver our nation, we are going out in some other country for the sake of getting better earnings, more bigger package or higher packages. So it becomes a kind of injustice towards the nation. And so when brain drain conditions will exist in the country, our country will not be having proper number of human capital, or required number of human capital in the country, and so we will remain in the same we will remain stuck in the same position as before. So we should all take care of all these 3 points. These are the major problems in human capital formation in India. Now next topic is Human Development Index. The Human Development Index is a composite statistics of life expectancy, education, and income indices, so to rank countries into 4 tiers of human development. Human Development Index, from the word itself, it is giving you some mathematical measurement. Mathematical measurement means it is taking up all the countries around the world in one parameter, and according to the conditions existing in the country regarding health, education, and per capita income, it is putting up some order. So the higher the order, the better is the condition of your country. The lower place you will achieve, the lower will be the human development index of your country. So it was initially started by Mahbub ul Haq, and then followed by Amrit Sen in 1990, and it was published by United Nations UNDP United Nations Development Program, uh, to, to categorize all the countries into developed or rich or developing, and thirdly it is underdeveloped. So this is how has taken into consideration all these aspects. Next is your 3 basic human capabilities of HDI. 3 basic human capabilities of HDI are longevity. The longevity term itself takes into consideration the life expectancy at the time of birth. Life expectancy at the time of birth means the healthy the child will be, At the time of birth, the life expectancy will be more. He will live more longer life if the child is healthy. The second is educational attainment. Educational attainment means the people of the country on an average basis how much they are educated, whether they are on an average they are educated only up to elementary education level or higher school level or high technically qualified people are more in the country. So all these things makes basis to make the compatibilities or comparison of HDI. So next point is your under this educational attainment, it is adult literacy rate and gross enrollment ratio. Adult literacy rate means the number of people who are educated above the age of 18 years, above the age of 40 years, whether they are educated or not, whether they want to get educated, they can read or write properly the simple statement of our daily everyday use or not. So this is if it is there, if literacy is there in adult population, then automatically adult literacy rate will be higher in any of the countries. Whereas gross enrollment ratio is defined as a number of students enrolled at different levels of education. Different levels of education means out of the total number of children in the country, how many are going to school. That is what is known as gross enrollment ratio. Particularly it is taken up for college going students as well as high qualification level institutes. So because elementary education is taken up to class 8th, and after that your technical knowledge of professional studies, basic of professional studies starts from class 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th onwards. So we take gross enrollment ratio to be the ratio of the number of students studying in any of the colleges of the country. So these are some of the basic issues that are the capabilities of HDI. Now, how the three basic human capabilities of HDI measured on the basis of real GDP per capita income is taken as a measure to study the standard of living of people of any country, as well as it is the sum average of the life expectancy index, educational attainment index, and real GDP per capita index. So this is how you can study the HDI, where your country stands as per the norms set up by UNDP for the development of any country. So this is how we are over with the chapter. Whereas when you talk about development measures in our country, there are so many institutions where your government of India has put up all its efforts to contribute to the to form human resource into human capital. They are for school education we have NCERT, then for higher education you have UGC, then again ICMR is also there, which takes care of medical issues related to the development of human beings. So these are some of the major organizations which take care of the development of education and health in our country. So this is how we conclude with the chapter human capital formation. So I hope that you all have understood the understood what is human capital, what is human resource, how can you convert yourself from human resource to human capital, and do prepare for yourself. Thank you. Have a nice day.